Hi, and welcome to day 7 on April 22nd, 2020, to go over our SEL lesson of the day. And so here is our agenda. We are going to honor our guest back on. We are going to give our greeting, our affirmation, our fun question, our lesson question of the day, and then our activity. And then we have some examples that I want you to ask with your family members in your house. So remember, right now is a great time to gather mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, or brother, sister, cousin, somebody that lives in the house with you, so you're able to participate in this activity right now as well. So without further ado, I'm going to welcome my guest back. So Mr. Nick. Woo! All righty. So we're going to go ahead and get started in our greeting. So today we are going to give a pinky hug. So pinky hugs are kind of like pinky promises. So good morning, Mr. Nick.
Good morning, Mrs. Russell.
All righty, and we're on our talking piece with our positive affirmation. Today, I am feeling excited. I am excited because some things are looking up, and I am really enjoying playing games with you during self-isolation.
I am feeling optimistic. I'm feeling optimistic about getting back together and seeing our friends here at a time when it becomes safe.
Awesome. All right, our fun question of the day is, what do you want to be when you grow up? All right, even though I am an adult, I'm going to go back to the mind of young Mrs. Russell, and I'm going to describe or answer the question of what I really wanted to be when I was young. So, Mr. Nick, when I was young, and I would say probably kindergarten or so, I really wanted to be a judge.
That's a good one, Mrs. Russell. Well, when Mr. Nick was young, Mr. Nick really loved to play sports. He wanted to grow up to be a football player.
Awesome. All right. So today we are talking about perspective. Okay. So if you've never heard the word perspective, it is a big fancy way to say what you think and how you feel. So it is your opinion. Your perspective is your opinion and where you are coming from. Okay. So our lesson question is, what is your perspective or opinion on cold weather? Blech. My perspective and my opinion on cold weather is that I do not like cold weather. You are not able to go outside. So I do not like cold weather. That's my perspective.
My perspective is, while cold weather isn't my favorite, one good thing about cold weather is you get to wear hooded sweatshirts like this, which I love wearing hooded sweatshirts. So that actually makes me happy about cold weather.
All righty. So now we're going to go into our activity of the day, and it's a very similar to our lesson question of the day. So we're going to continue to use our talking piece, and it is called What's Your Perspective? And so that is what's your opinion? What do you think about it? So our first question is going to be, what is your perspective on cell phones for kids? I do not like the idea of kids having cell phones because it takes away from their learning at school.
I like the idea of kids having cell phones because if they're in an emergency situation and they have to get in contact with their parents, it gives them an easy way to do that.
All right. You see how our perspectives were different, and I still listened to him. I still gave him respect, even though I don't agree with it and he doesn't agree with mine. we are still there for each other and we're still friendly with one another. All right, our next question is, do you believe robots are smarter than humans? I do not think robots are smarter than humans because humans have to program the robots. And sometimes the robots are made from high-tech technology, and that technology breaks down. So robots are not smarter than humans.
I think that robots are smarter than humans because since they're computers, they can constantly learn and evolve at a rate that's a little bit faster than humans can.
All right, our next perspective question is, do you think kids should have a dress code at school? Once again, do you think kids should have a dress code at school? I do not think kids should have a dress code at school because I believe within limits, as long as you wear shirts that are making sure that your belly's covered or shoulders not covered, that you should still be able to express your own style.
I do think that kids should have a dress code while at school because if everyone's wearing the same thing, there will be a little bit more unity and nobody can get made fun of for wearing different clothes.
All right, our next one. Do you think kids should have homework? I think kids should have homework because it gives the students time and practice on skills that they have learned in class.
I don't think kids should have homework because they work so hard at school. I think that when they get home, that should be a time for them to unwind and do other things.
All right, and our last question for what's your perspective is, do you think kids should watch rated R movies? I do not think kids should watch rated R movies because they have ratings for a reason. And R signifies adult content, and you have to be 18 to be considered an adult. So kids should not watch rated R movies.
While I agree with some of the things you said, I think kids should be able to watch rated R movies if it's a movie that fits their genre. I know a lot of superhero movies now are rated R, things like that, and I think something like that would probably be
Thank you, Mr. Nick, for participating in What's Your Perspective? So you realize that everybody has their own opinion. Everybody has a different perspective. Sometimes it could be the same, but a lot of the times you and your friends and family have different opinions about things. And it's how you treat them once they give their opinion that matters. As long as you still care for them, you're polite and respectful and nice to them, then their perspective matters just as much as you. And when you give that respect, you'll get that respect. All right. Thank you so much.
Russell, I was going on a cruise